Whatever it is that you're doing, I need you to stop. No, immediately stop. This does not happen often, but your auntie has an exclusive breaking and urgent news story. And I am talking exclusive. You will not hear about this anywhere else. This is vital for Americans especially to hear. People in border states and those that have been infected the most with the illegal immigrants that have come over our southern border. Also countries that are experiencing issues with immigrants coming over their borders as well. Specifically, immigrants coming from East Asia and the Middle East, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan. Y'all, I need you to listen up. This weekend I heard from a dear old friend. She reached out to me for help, asking if I could use my platform to share her friend's story. Not only to share it, but to help warn others, and also to see if anybody else out there has experienced the same horrific nightmare that she just did. We are all fully aware of the many risks that come with these illegal immigrants coming over our southern border. But not this risk. Oh no, this one's new. My friend Jennifer's friend Natalie began feeling sick on July 7th. Nausea, fatigue, and side pain. She thought it was a kidney stone, brushed it off, went to work. Muscled through the weekend, but on Monday when she got to work at lunchtime, the pain was just too much. She went to the ER, where they did a CT scan and they found a cyst on her spleen. They did routine blood work. There was a little bit of something, but it made her doctor want to do more blood work. This blood work took 2 weeks to get back. When she got it back, the doctor called her and said, I need you to come in. We need to talk and discuss a game plan. She and her husband went in, and when she saw her doctor was accompanied by another doctor. She explained to her that she had an extremely rare, never seen in America kind of rare, poisonous parasite inside of that cyst on her spleen. An extremely rare, dangerous, and potentially fatal cyst full of poisonous parasites. But here's where the shocker comes in. They asked if she had been traveling out of the country. She said no. They explained, well, that's strange because this is not something we ever see in the United States. In fact, this poisonous parasite is only found in the Middle East and East Asia. It is caused when goats, sheep, or cattle eat dog feces. But again, it is never seen here in the United States. They put her on a medication that cost her, after insurance paid, over $3,000. And they got her to an infectious disease doctor and a surgical consultation for her spleen. Typically, whenever I get news like this that I'm not certain about, I need to do research, make sure I'm sharing the stuff accurately and getting you guys everything true and right and real. Once I saw the video I'm about to show you from her doctor, I realized my research here was done. Check it out.
To the Afghanistan border. So this is called a dog tapeworm cyst. Okay, so typically what you see this in, this shows up on our exams. We never see it. This is the first time I've ever seen anybody with it. Ever.
Okay,
and
so
I worked in Milwaukee.
And
I worked in Chicago and Milwaukee and lots of immigrants there, trust me.
Okay.
So typically what the doctor books are saying is that you get a splenic cyst after you've ruptured a liver cyst. There's no sign of a liver cyst at all. Okay? And you haven't traveled anywhere that this is in.
St. Lucia.
Yeah, I don't have it there.
Oh, that's the only place I've been in the United States.
Outside of Central Asia, this is like unheard of. And so what this is a cyst, okay? Now, even though this says the antibiotics are all down, this thing is poison, okay? So our doctor exams all talk about this as the typical scenario in the exam question is a Middle Eastern gentleman comes into your office with increasing pain, irritation, low-grade fevers, what are called Class B symptoms, and he has a cyst in the liver, and it's pushing on his stomach. And the trap is to take him to the OR. Because if this rupture, they die of anaphylaxis on the table. The stuff that's inside this thing is literally poison to you. So what they do is they have to very delicately take this out. He's going to try to link up you with the infectious disease people at University of Washington
State?
Yes.
Okay.
And then figure out who would do the surgery, have they done them, what's the technique. So what he is telling me over the phone, that he's only seen one there done when he was in training. And they put all these special high salt things around the cyst, so if it does rupture, it doesn't leak anywhere. Like basically put a salt patch around the slug, and if it moves anywhere, it dies.
Right.
So we don't do that here.
Okay.
And we should not do that here. Okay? Even though you have a problem, it's a real problem. I didn't understand when you first came in that you had a dog cyst. I had a dog cyst. These are dog cysts. Their slang term is dog cyst. They're not from dogs, by the way.
Right.
They're from livestock. And they're typically secondary from a liver rupture.
And growing up on the ranch and farm?
Doesn't make any difference. I've never heard of anybody. No, I've never heard of anybody in this country ever having this. And I've worked in big cities a good chunk of my career. Trust me, this is exceptionally rare. I'll never see another one. I really.
But you want my autograph now?
29 years of doing this, I've never seen anybody with this. This shows up on our exams all the time. And it says all the time, do not rupture this thing, they will die. And so
is she going to have emergency surgery then?
Absolutely not.
Mm-mm. Oh.
Absolutely not. That's where you rupture more. These things are just like sitting there, and they're holding their own. That expensive medication kind of keeps it together. So the problem is, it still may potentially have infection in it. If you rupture it, that stuff gets everywhere.
Okay.
But this should not be done anywhere in the state. Because we don't do this.
Right.
Nobody sees them.
We're equipped with, like, refugees.
Well, Seattle's got that hands down.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, we both are from the D.C. area.
No, Seattle. Well, I mean,
Seattle's
there's
crazy.
certainly, yes, they have that there too, the East Coast, the West Coast.
Right.
But I mean, you don't want to go to Iowa.
And you said
if
this
ruptures. You want to go to Seattle, New York,
right.
big cities, big immigrants.
Okay. And you said if they're in surgery and this ruptures, it kills me.
It can kill you, yeah. That's why we don't do it emergently or electively without some knowledge.
And you're definitely not comfortable with doing it.
I definitely think it's the safer thing for you not to have it done here. If I make one wrong move, and you can be perfect surgery, and if one wrong move, that thing you just push on the wrong way and pops, your life's on the line. We wouldn't do that. Nobody should do that. That's crazy. So we're going to get you hopefully to the right people, and you go. And my guess is they're going to be all over this because this is not common.
I think that doctor made it extremely clear that this is not seen in America. It isn't just rare or happens once in a while. No, we do not see this in America. This poisonous parasite comes from the Middle East and East Asia. Natalie, unfortunately, ended up with this parasite because she came in contact with somebody who was infected with this poisonous parasite. Somebody who apparently came from the Middle East or East Asia. Somebody who crossed our border. But here's where it gets a little bit more shocking. Like I said, Natalie wanted me to share her story, not only to warn everybody, but in hopes to maybe find somebody else that has suffered the same experience. Someone to have support with. Someone to talk to. This is not something that anybody should ever have to go through. Her medical bills are around $400,000 now. She lives in Helena, Montana, and she had to go to Seattle for a splenectomy to remove the cyst that was full of poisonous parasites and her spleen. But here's where it gets a little bit scarier. My doctor told me that I had a poisonous parasite in the cyst, Echinococcus, or is that Echinococcus, or a hydatid cyst. I also asked her if there were any other cases in Helena, and she said one that she knows of. A white male who's from Montana and had never been out of the country. He is also being treated for this parasite now. My friend explained to me that he does have the same doctor as her. The doctor said she does not know how many other active cases there are in Helena at this time. She may have been contaminated because somebody touched her food or beverage that had this active parasite. She had surgery on January 4th. Helena is a smaller town, just a little bit bigger than Elko. We had just a few different nationalities, not a lot, and then all of a sudden we had a bunch of different groups, if that makes sense. We had some refugees here at one point. These illegal immigrants are bringing more over the border than we know. And in poor Natalie's case, what one of the immigrants brought over was a poisonous parasite that could have potentially killed her. This is something that we as Americans need to know, need to be aware of, and need to watch out for so that we can protect ourselves and our families from the absolute horror and nightmare that poor Natalie just endured. A poisonous parasite that was brought over from somebody from the Middle East or East Asia. And it seems as though Natalie in Helena, Montana is not alone. Strange how we have not yet heard about this at all.